episode 12, because I remember this time because last episode I said it was 10 and it was really 11. Don't forget to project towards the camera as well. Tonight, I am joined with the original Rockford trio. We got Trip Pants. We got the Unicorn, Nate Lucas. And me, your dad. Tonight, we are going to talk about, or today...
Why that caught me off guard?
I don't know, whatever. Time of recording, we are talking about maximizing your build turn. I believe Toy Soldiers did a video on this. I will put it at the end of at the card so you guys can reference that.
Yes.
So we're just going to generally go over the idea of a safety 3 build turn, a build turn with 2 checks, a build turn with 1 checks. Always going first, so we're going to say that we're going first, and then this is what we want to build to maximize our, on average, 3 to 5. 3 to 4, I should say. 3 to 4 cards. Very rarely will you ever get a 5th card unless you play in like a bunch of zeros.
Yeah.
So, why don't you lead us off with safety 3s, Tyler?
Well, so safety 3s means that you play nothing lower than a 3 check. You want to go, at least in difficulty order, you want to go 3, 3, 3, and then a 4 or 5 depending on if you're playing a 1 or... No, at that point it would be a 1 or a 0.
Yeah, 1 or a 0. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're playing the safest way that you can. There's no attack with like a 4 check or anything.
Yeah.
If you play 3 diff foundations, I know there are a lot of people that are kind of turned off by the fact of 3 diff foundations because of that. But I usually don't build any deck with like more than 6.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it
depending on what it does.
Yeah, unless it's like super optimal, like
Surveyor's always
yeah,
a 4 of.
Surveyor's always a 4 of, and then there are some other 3 diffs on those symbols that are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But no, as far as that goes, like you just always want to keep in mind what you're checking, because your ratios always shift the more cards that you play.
Yep.
And I think that building optimally for any hand size is 4 on first turn.
Well, yeah, normally. Usually you shoot for that sweet spot of like 4.
Because even a 5-hander won't care if they have 1 card in hand. It's just like
a 5-hander wants to play out their entire hand on turn 1.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. So they draw a full hand the following turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my question to you is this though: if you're playing safety 3s and you draw like 3 or 4 3 diffs, and
pitch that hand.
You just pitch it?
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, well, of course, because you're not going to build. You'll guarantee yourself 2.
Yeah.
And if you have like a 1 or a 0 or even if to keep that hand, you have to have at least a 1 diff or a 0 diff in your hand to guarantee yourself 3.
Yeah.
Because you're going to try to guarantee at least 3 cards plus.
Right, but if you're a 6-hander and you draw 3 diffs, like going first, even playing 2 3 diffs right after another is really tricky. So like,
well, yeah, because it's on a 4.
Yeah,
because it's on a 3 then a 4. Correct. Yeah. So I'm wrong. You're right. So I'll admit that. So moving on.
Someone mark the calendar.
It's March.
It's right there.
Here you go. So I'm going with playing a deck with 2 checks going first. So, take your deck tonight. You were playing Bubble Man.
Yes.
You had a crap ton of 2s in your deck. 6 2 checks. So it's
like
usually 3 more than I normally play. But unless it's time slow, then I'm playing a 4-up. But I'm also a bad player.
But those multiple attacks are just so good.
Yeah, they are. So I'm going first as, say, Bubble Man, and I have a bunch of 2 checks. So what I want to do is I want to... screw that. Let's say I'm a life deck. That's even better. And then I'm playing, like, everywhere. Let's harken back to the days of KOF 13 when I have no mind in my deck.
Ugh.
So
no one wants to revisit those days.
I need to lead off with a 2. So, and I want my
13 might not be the greatest of examples because there's a
stay on topic. I'm trying to do my thing here. Okay. You're talking over me.
You're right. I'm wrong.
Kids, man. I just got backhanded one day. So I let you have your time.
Yeah, you're right.
So I want to lead off with a 2. Now we're on topic. Man, you are the James Stephens of our group. You are the lamest player in Rockford.
Now you're off topic.
I know I am, but that just came into my head. Thank you. Thanks, Dad. He's really a dad. Wow, we were way off topic. But anywho, so
I just cut it in post production.
No way, man. We're leaving this shit in.
Oh, that's great.
So you want to start off with a 2, and then you want to guarantee yourself a second card. So you want to try to play like a 1 or a 0. So you got like a 1 or a 2. And then if you have a 0 or a 1, it's even better because then it's on a 2 or a 3. So you're at least giving yourself a chance to have a third foundation. Why I referenced Life is that they have a couple cards that don't count towards progressive. Over the Top was one. Back when KOF 13 was legal, they had Hidden Laughter, so that was always on a 2, so it didn't matter. It didn't count. It ignored progressive while playing.
Unless you played Revoke first, then it was
Yes.
on a 1.
Then you play. Yeah. Also, you can play Revoke as a form, and then that gave you -1 progressive to all your foundations. So basically, you can play on a 0, 2, 2, 1, blah 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 blah. So you want to try to maximize because you're playing 2s. You don't want to build. You don't want to start with a 3 because that would be horrible. Because I've even done it where you go like whatever, man, play that 3, clench those butt cheeks, and then you check that 2, and it just all releases back into your pants. And then it's like, well, I guess I'm going second. And then your opponent has a build lead on you, and you pretty much are playing from behind the entire game. So playing 2s are kind of risky, but they're worth it. But this guy's going to talk about playing 1 diff. What? Go ahead.
To build on that, so when you're playing 2s, would you want to shift the ratio of spam that you play?
Yeah, you want to, instead of playing like a normal, say like in a 60 card deck, you're probably playing like 13 to 15 spam.
Yeah.
You may want to bump it to like 17 or 18.
Unless you're one of us crazy Rockford players, because like some people who will remain nameless like to play like 20.
Yeah.
Or like 22.
Yeah. I used to subscribe to that method, and then it's just like, why am I playing cards that don't do anything in my deck other than for me to curve out a late turn build turn? I'd rather draw like a 2 diff that actually has a relevant effect at the time.
Thanks, Guile Treatment.
There you go. Shout outs to my
Shameless
show.
plug.
Shameless plug.
Absolute
Definitely.
shameless plug.
So,
I'm not even on the show.
But yeah, moving on from 2s to 1s, Nate's going to talk about a build turn with 1 checks.
So 1 checks, you have to be pretty brave. You got to play a lot of 1s and a lot of 0s in your deck to begin with. You need to prep your deck knowing that you could check a 1 first, second, you can check 3 1s in a row. It's happened. It's awful. So what you can do, you play 1 right off the bat, you play a 0 right after that, giving you another 1, and then a 0 hopefully after that, on a 2, and then who knows? You can try to build a 3. After that, you're pretty much throwing whatever you can. If you get lucky with the rest of your build, if you can get 3 successfully, going turn 1 with a deck that plays lots of 1 checks, if you're playing a deck with 1 checks, you need a lot of 1 checks in there to make it worth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I know this kind of goes against that mentality though. Like a deck like who's fronted by like Tengu Man. I know you've played Tengu Man. He isn't afraid of 1 checks because of his ability. So you could start off with a 3 diff if you want, or a 2 diff.
You build him like a 3.
You build him like a normal safety 3 deck because he can be like, well, I checked a 1, cool, I'll discard a card, I get +2 in my check. Yeah. So the only time that doesn't help is when he's on his 4th or 5th card because it's a 4 or a 5 roughly. One thing I wanted to talk about, I guess in safety in 1s is you can play cards that auto build. So like say you go second and your opponent built 3 and you have like arrogant and overconfident. The 0 diff Tengu Man where it comes down automatically. Mm-hmm. Or even if you are Tengu Man and you play an agile. You can commit him, bring it down, and then because his ability is playable while committed, you can get around all that.
I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Well, it depends.
That way, if I check a 1, that way I'm like, oh.
Well, he's playable while committed, so you can just discard cards. It doesn't matter. But so in the same topic that Sam Tate, shout out, sorry I didn't reference you in the beginning. He also wanted us to go over some cards that circumvent breaker. So like say you're you're attacking and your opponent goes, well with Jet now, Breaker 4. Breaker 2, Breaker 3, Breaker 4. There's Breaker 5 out there now because of Jet.
Okay,
so
first of all, Breaker 5, I don't care what you're playing.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
Scary.
Yeah, I know it's scary as shit.
That's scary as shit.
Yeah, I know. So, but he can't do that with strongest style though. So he can't add +2 to that. It's Breaker 3, Breaker 5.
I believe you and Trent's conversation brought something up to like Breaker 7.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Like a card like Agile that clears itself, or Arrogant Overconfident that clears itself, so you can
Petrol
play
power plus
Petrol
damage.
Petrol Power that will hit clear, so it eats the breaker. Mistake. I normally see a lot of players, at least locally, I see a lot of newer players. If your opponent breakers you, then reversals you, burn that block, man.
Yeah, just throw
burn
a block.
it, because that block will eat up that breaker, and then you can just go on even if you don't have to pass the block. Hope to God you don't actually pass it on the check, because then it's just like, well, I think I just screwed myself over.
Yeah.
But
Block with a breaker.
yeah, well, breaker's going to be super huge now. So what else?
Block with cards that ignore
progressive difficulty, like an over the top that does that.
Dragon of Kyoto.
Dragon, yeah. And hopefully it gets rotated soon. So yeah, block with cards that say they don't count towards progressive.
Yeah.
That's also a good one. Spiders and dragons, you can play that, on a 4 or whatever. If they breaker you, then you can play like a smaller diff attack, because right now there's still a bunch of 3 diffs out there, and that will clear itself. So,
that's not like Bebop fix that.
No, Bebop kind of fixed
Throw
that.
it down.
But you can throw it down. Doesn't count towards. You can play throw it down on a 3 or whatever. That doesn't count towards progressive either.
Teldane, action.
What?
+2.
Not over yet.
Yeah.
But you're still looking on. You're still playing.
Still on +1.
You're still on whatever the breaker is. So it's kind of dangerous. It's a little. It's easier to do with a card that clears itself, or it doesn't count towards progressive. What else can we say that circumvents breaker? You just cancel it. You want stuff that clears itself to easily play other cards. Is what we're trying to say. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's terribly on topic, but there are cards that do like get rid of adding to progressive.
Yeah.
So keeping in mind that like breaker will be huge with like Jet, since he adds on to everything. You can always like play 1 or 2 of cards that I just started playing 2 of Reformed Scientist in any, in
cards
any deck I can.
Cards that cancel keyword abilities. Yeah. Or adds to difficulty or whatever. I think that's pretty much. You got anything else to add on that?
Can't think of anything.
How much time
Maybe
are we
Good
at?
and Evil just for a cancel.
13 minutes.
Oh God, that's perfect. I love the 12 to 15 minute window. So I think we're gonna bring this episode to a close. Again, check out Toy Soldier's video. I'll post it in the little card that will probably be here or here. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all that fun stuff. You guys got topics for us to talk about? We're kind of running dry. We're probably going to do a couple other ones, maybe some Bebop, because we have a release event next week, so we'll probably do a release event video just to see how people enjoyed it, and the cards are fucking awesome. So
They're so good.
So with the close, we want to say thanks for watching, and hit the button, Marco.